Right, gets the hit.
You're all set. Okay, I thought it would be an ego trip if I introduced myself as the many-featured reader. So I've asked someone else to do that for me.
Oh, it's gonna be.
Every time he hides.
You never know.
Good evening. I'm Horton Cleveland. I've been asked to introduce the next reader. White Garcia is not at all a literary man, and I strongly doubt if he even wants to understand. I suspect he is not at all familiar with poets of the past, nor the history of literature that's had a tendency to last. His poems lack tradition and subtle sophistication. Some even involve a bit of condescending pontification. He writes what he wants and thinks at the time, and his poems use a kind of unorthodox form of rhyme. Although he seems honest, he's a bit too direct. Obviously a nonconformist in a vulgarious respect. He likes to shock and is often contrarily rude, and ignores convention with new thoughts that are quite crude. He admits his first poem arrived under the influence of pot. I didn't want to be submitted to hearing such rubbish and rot, but he insists on exposing his childlike mind. I do hope it's not a sign of our times. Although he lacks good taste and professional polish, I am curious at what Wyde now wants to abolish. I am amused by his approach in controversial themes, and I do trust you might find something to glean. So without further ado, let us give a listen to his latest poems of view. You hadn't noticed, I haven't got hair anymore, and it was a big deal to get it cut, because a lot of us suffered in the 70s, 60s for having long hair, and it was a big decision. She's not here to hear this, but I just didn't wake up and decide to cut my hair. I got inspired by Maurette, and she also inspired this poem. It's called a hippie poem. The words hip and hep mean awareness, originating from African Americans adopted by the hipsters and beatniks in Greenwich Village and transformed by the first hippies in Haight-Ashbury in 1964. And that's when the first hippies came, with peace and love and anti-war. And the world changed, and it will never be the same. As time and space are rearranged, a global shift will one day come, and all of us will feel like one. With peace and love and anti-war, for each just a thought away, when forgiving scars from yesterday. The Berkeley hippies changed my life. I joined the movement, leaving a roller coaster ride of conditional strife. Or was it a merry-go-round spinning out of control? I did acid pot and a few other things that changed my view and gave me wings to soar above the clouds of unchanging change and accept the world without any strings. I grew my hair and beard with much thought, as it was a symbol of our freedom brought. And now I've cut it and turned another page, for my hair and beard had become a subtle cage. I am not a hippie, although ego proud to have been. I am only that which is contained within. I still thought I was a hippie and realized I simply do hippie things. I also thought that I was you and you and you, and now I fully realize it's true. I am. And when hippie thinking came with peace and love and anti-war, the world did begin to change, and it will never be the same. As time and space are rearranged, a global shift will one day come, and all of us will all feel like one. with peace and love and anti-war for each is just a thought away when forgiving scars from yesterday. And now I leave this poem of mine with one of many original hippie thoughts aligned. Enjoy our moon, the rain, the sun, and have a nice day, everyone. This is called The Outsider. His affliction, addicted to love, punch-drunk love, yet absence of malice and outlaw, beyond the law, yet beyond darkness, beyond the clouds, into the blue, a fatal attraction, the speed of a bullet, a shot in the dark, crash, a perfect murder, in cold blood, blood in and blood out, splash, blood on the sun, true crime, a beautiful mind, gone in 60 seconds, blown away, gone with the wind, cast away, yet unforgettable, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the peacemaker, the man who knew too much, the messenger, like Gandhi, like Jesus, God's representatives. Who's the man in the line of fire, the predator, to lock up? I accuse the Rockefellers, the mafia, Goodfellows, the insider, secret agent, money plays, KKK, the game, the front page, intolerance, conspiracy of fear, the human stain, history of the world, the snake pit. Quite frankly, I don't give a damn. King's legend, his legacy, his dream lives on. Awakenings, the color purple, the children, river of freedom, evolution, endless love, peace, ever after. We are the replacements. This is my response to Occupy Wall Street. The road to hell, it's called loitering with intent. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. This famous quote implies or intends the road to heaven is a productive one, where man-made goals, objectives, and aims guide future development, leading to continuous automatic patterns of growth, producing high rises that hide the clouds, or islands sinking from gray concrete, producing progress, producing progress, producing progress. Heavenly success measured in power, status, and wealth. No, the road to hell is paved with evil intentions. This earthly hell of human minds drives the global bankers to sponsor civil wars so that global corporations can sell death weapons and pills to a presupposing opposing side, while the intentions of global designers target certain populations for global genocide. They finance global multiple militaries that waste earthly resources, support genocide, and rape the land. The road to earthly hell is paved with post-war reconstructionists supported by our taxes collected, by government political pawns as planned. No, the road to an earthly heaven is paved with pure intention of infinite love in the now. All I really am is my intention. To be attached to any results of my labor is an ego trip, ignoring the divine. And only a road that terminates in my perception of now, that invisible point of timeless awareness that leaves the future to infinite love of omnipotent divine design, can manifest my heaven on earth. Let's see. Here's a new one. It's called Parallel World. It's a rewrite of a theme I used before. I sometimes visit a parallel world. It looks exactly like ours, only it is backward in time, with a much smaller population. And strangely different. Asia is the most populated continent. Iran is the only Arab country. Danes are the only Europeans. Americans live in Iowa, Ohio, and Utah. And Reno is the largest gambling city. Everyone is born under the sign of Leo. Aloha is the only word for love, and Hawaii is the only popular resort. Oahu and Maui, the favorite islands. Only whales and eels occupy the seas. Just apes, lions, and rats roam the earth. Asps are the only snakes. Elm and fir, its only trees. Opals, the only gems. And ivy and iris, its only plants. People are always getting irked and riled, so they constantly do saunas at spas, eat apples and eggs and drink lemonade, and tea and rum poured from urns. Entertainment is limited as well. People love epic sagas and tales. Poems are popular, but Yeats is the only poet, and he writes only odes. And Arthur Ashe is the only tennis player. Ida Lupino, Ava Gardner, and Ava Gabor, and Mae West, its only movie stars. Ira Gershwin is more famous than his brother George. Aida is the only opera. They have named this parallel world crosswords, and vowels overpopulate their sentences. And this last poem is you've heard, most of you have heard that it was requested. I'm coming out of the closet, been there for too many years. It's time to reveal myself, to officially declare, yes, it's true. I am a haole, a white-skinned California mainlander. My bloodline is the same as the missionaries that forced their morals on the Hawaiians, the same missionaries whose offspring plotted the assassinations of King Kalakaua and Queen Liliuokalani, overthrew and plotted the illegal overthrow, forcing the Hawaiians into poverty and prisons. Haole had a different meaning when King Kamehameha welcomed Captain Vancouver and his gift of cannons that massacred Maui's Hawaiians who carried only spears into Eel Valley. Haole originally meant without spiritual breath or any foreigner to Hawaii, which makes the Chinese, the Japanese, the Portuguese, the Filipinos, the Koreans, the Spanish, the Vietnamese, every race, every local are all haoles, except the Hawaiians, the very first to these islands, who revered the land, guardianed it, not needing to own it. They invited haoles into their homes, and the haoles evicted them. Which haole are you and me? The evictor, the exploiter, the loyal bloodliner, the self-absorbed mainlander, the anti-Aina or anti-land military man, or the local, not empathetic to the plight of the Hawaiians, or the empathetic haole but statehood believer, or lastly, the statehood conceder. I wish for Hawaiian sovereignty so they can once again guardian these fragile, precious isles, return honor to the Aina, return sharing to all the Ohanas, and still on a higher level, it is not the bloodline, it is not the genes, it is not the ethnicity or history, it is the consciousness of this present moment. We who come to planet Earth for our short lifetime visits are all tourists to the Aina, all foreigners, all haoles, are we not? So,